Welcome, everybody, into this week's episode of Dahm. It's just Truman. Oops, all Truman. That's right. Owen's in Hawaii, so you get just me. I'm going to be rambling to myself. One of the other guys might step in here, but it's going to be a lot of me today, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope we do it justice because today we are talking the craziness that has already been the NFL free agency cycle. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it. I do appreciate everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. Welcome in. And also, enjoy the new song. Ooh, welcome everybody back into another episode of Dahm. That's true. I appreciate it. Sour? What? What did you say, Carl? Sour, please. Yes. Appreciate it. But welcome everybody into another episode of Dahm. That's true. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Truman, the Steam Machine Steen, and I'm joined by no one. It's just me. Oops, all Truman. Hello. I'm going to do a whole lot of stuff. So, you don't have better what? You don't have better TTV. I'm so confused. What is happening?
It's extension to add more emotes to your channel.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, bud. But yes. So, welcome everybody in to Dahm. That's true. It's all me tonight, baby. It's all Truman. Today we're talking NFL free agency. It's only been one day and it's already been insane. It's been probably the craziest 24 hours. I mean, this has been the craziest, I feel like, NFL cycle that we've seen in a hot minute. I don't think this is the most like NBA free agency that we've seen in a long time. And that's better for the league. I really am already appreciating it. Picaro says he's happy to be here. I'm happy you are here. I'm happy for everybody here. Before we get too far into things, shout out patreon.com/open disaster. Appreciate everybody who subscribed over there, help supporting. Speaking of Picaro, there he is. Picaro, we appreciate you for being a subscriber. We appreciate Skylar, Mailbox Kansas City, Dylan, Joe, and Aaron. We appreciate all 6 of our patrons. If you guys want to join, if you want to have your name read, it's just $1. But if you want the bonus content, that'll be $5. Joe's releasing a bonus buds right now. I see him on his iPad over there. I bet he's getting one loaded up and ready to rock. So Joe will have bonus buds. I believe he's going to drop the Mrs. Rib today. It's the Miss Rib. It's the girl equivalent of the McRib, similar to the Mrs. Potato Head. Right? Is that right?
Not even a little.
No? What is it? Is it the Miss? What was the Miss Rib? It was, you guys were making a spouse for the McRib?
Yeah, it was the Tom Brady's wife.
The Tom Brady's wife of sandwiches. So when he comes back, when the McRib comes back, it's the sandwich that's going to be leaving the McRib. Okay, so you guys can subscribe over to Patreon for bonus fire content like that. Otherwise, we're going to just dig straight into free agency. Listen, that is the name of the game. That is today's episode. It's just the free agency. We're going to be doing a lot of that, free agency. We're going to start here with the Chiefs, and then we're going to go into talk about the rest of the league and how that might affect the Chiefs. And then we're going to talk about just kind of Chiefs guys that could become free agents soon and how that would affect if we let each of those guys go. So first, we're going to start off with where the Chiefs started today. News broke first that the Chiefs had lost our right tackle, Andrew Wylie. That is a bummer. I'm not going to lie to you. Out of everybody that out of the 2 tackles, I am not very high on Orlando Brown Jr. I feel like I've made that known before. I think I said it even on last week's episode. Oh, sorry, Vincent's grabbing a drink. I was confused. And I think I just didn't love bringing back Orlando Brown Jr. I wanted to upgrade the left tackle position. But right tackle, I would have been happy with Andrew Wylie, especially I believe Andrew Wylie got 3 years, $24 million. I would have loved to bring Andrew Wylie back at $8 million a year. I don't think people are like, oh, we got a payday. Fucking $8 million for Andrew Wylie? That would have been great to have the same right tackle that you've had for the last couple of years. But alas, it was a no-go. Andrew Wylie signed elsewhere for 3 years, $24 million. But the Chiefs made a tackle signing of their own. They signed Jawaan Taylor from the Jaguars. My only concern is that he has been playing right tackle for the Jaguars, but he is like the third best pass blocking tackle in the NFL the last year, and I think he can make that switch over to right tackle, and I think or switch from right tackle to left tackle. The Chiefs are banking on that as well. I believe he's also younger. I believe this is his like first big contract after his rookie deal, I want to say. Jawaan, let me look up his age is Jawaan Taylor age is he's going to be 26 next season. So, right? Does that sound? Yes, 20. He's going to be 26 next year. Orlando Brown Jr. Wow. This man is my age, maybe. Not even probably. Oh, that makes me sick. Orlando Brown Jr. is about a year older than him. So we get a little bit younger on the line. And I got sick of watching Orlando Brown Jr. just get blown past. I really am not going to miss Orlando Brown Jr. that much. So I'm really excited for what Jawaan Taylor can do for this Chiefs team. Jawaan. Jawaan, which I feel like it's just going to be Jawaan, but I don't want people to be mad at me. I don't have the name guy here. He's always great with the names. I'm not. Okay. So I would say that's a net positive. I think losing Andrew Wylie is a negative, but I think getting Jawaan Taylor over Orlando Brown is simply a positive. I believe the Chiefs' offensive line, and it's going to be a hot take, it's all going to come down to right tackle, depending on how bad that could be. But I'll also say it's a lot less pressure to draft a right tackle. I imagine your right tackle is probably coming in round 2 or 3. I believe your first round is now either going to be an edge or a wide receiver. I'd almost bet money on it. So I think that is kind of a cascading effect there. But that's what I'd have to say about that. I believe I do enjoy these moves, honestly. And the last piece of news, this actually came yesterday, and it's not even really news, but I wanted to mention it. Chris Jones actually sent out a tweet saying that he is a Chief for life, and that's probably the best news that anybody could hear. I mean, it won't, it's hopefully, what does that mean? Hopefully he's getting an extension. Hopefully that gets announced soon. Hopefully they're working through it and he's liking where it's going. But, I mean, it's not, while it is a good sign, is he going to take a team-friendly deal to stay here to be a Chief for life? Who knows? Hopefully we're just getting it done in a good way, and that's just good signs of it. But, we also have had players say, well, I'm never going to play anywhere else, or I don't want to play anywhere else. Bury me in this jersey. We had Danny Duffy's a prime example of a Royals player. Said, bury me a Royal. And now he's pitching for, I think it was the Dodgers, and he might have been somewhere else. But, it's kind of a sad situation. But I'm hoping that's not the Chris Jones situation. But I love that his mentality is being here. We've had guys kind of tweet out. We've had him tweet out some frustrations with fans. Everybody gets frustrated. We've all been frustrated with our jobs and whatnot, or people at our jobs. It's different, of course, for NFL players. But he's tweeted out some frustrations before, but today he tweets out that he'll be a Chief for life, and yesterday he tweeted that out, and that's probably the best free agency news the Chiefs could have ever gotten. So looking elsewhere, actually we'll look elsewhere in the AFC West. A lot of people are we'll start with the Raiders signing Jimmy Garoppolo. You go from mid to worse, I think. You go from mid to mid a little lower. I believe Derek Carr is mid-high. And I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is mid-low. I believe, I was talking to people about this earlier in the day, and somebody pointed out that you went from the 4th best quarterback in the division to having the 4th best quarterback in the division to having the 4th best quarterback in the division. It's not really a mover, but I guess you're going to get to pay him less, so maybe that helps. I wonder if you'll see Davante Adams move. I can't imagine Davante Adams is going to be thrilled with the Jimmy G signing. I don't think that's going to be what keeps him a Raider. I don't know what his contract is like. Oh, I think he signed an extension when he got traded, actually. I think he's probably there for, I want to say 3 more years, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. So, I believe that's an interesting signing by the Raiders. I don't think it does anything for them. I think it's kind of a worthless move in a way. I believe it's accepting that you're going to be okay for a little bit. And I believe you're probably going to see the Raiders draft a quarterback in the first round. Probably not this draft. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was this draft if Anthony Richardson falls that far. Because, honestly, you know what? Fuck it, I'll call it. I think the Raiders are going to pick Andrew Richardson actually now. I believe that is almost what this is a sign of, is that they might go after Anthony Richardson, because then you have the time to develop him. You've got Jimmy G for 2 years. I believe that gives you that time, right? I want to say it was, unless it was, I want to make sure it's not 4 years. I want to make sure it was 2 years. Oh, it is a 3-year deal. I imagine there's an out after the second year. Actually, okay, I hate that. I hate that even more. So it's really just them accepting that they're going to be okay. It's them accepting mid, honestly. What did you say? Royal, more like disloyal. Am I right? Yeah. For in regards to Danny Duffy, that's pretty funny. So there's the first signing. I believe the much bigger news, and I think this is going to affect this team more than the Raiders switching from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo. Austin Eckler requested permission to seek a trade, and this was actually right after Mike Williams and Keenan Allen got their deals reworked for them both to stay there this year. I believe that was earlier last week, but Austin Eckler requesting permission to seek a trade is that's a bombshell. That's huge. Again, we're seeing teams failing to pay running backs. I wonder if they will trade him. I mean, Lamar did the same thing. Lamar's not going to get traded probably after all that bullshit. And we've seen guys, Kareem Hunt requested a trade and never got traded. I believe there's someone else who maybe requested a trade. I know Derrick Henry's supposed to get traded at some point too. So I believe this is going to be a huge hit. I think Austin Eckler is, one of probably the best safety valves in the game. He scored the most touchdowns. I think the last 2 years, he certainly scored the most touchdowns last year. When you do receiving and rushing, and I think it was probably the year before that. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. He's obviously probably not going to go to the Chiefs. And I don't think he's going to stay in the division. I imagine if they're going to trade him, they're going to trade him elsewhere. Teams where I'd be thinking about running backs, man. Maybe the Commanders. The Commanders seem like they're kind of going all in. They signed, of course, Jawaan Hargrave. Oh, no, sorry. They kept their defensive tackle. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he signed with the Commanders. He believes they're one small piece away. And maybe Austin Eckler's that small piece. But obviously, I think everybody else believes the small piece is quarterback, and that's a large piece. So, keep your eyes on where Austin Eckler goes. I believe that will be one of the main kind of pillars of free agency, one of the main movers that when that domino lands, I'll be very interested to see where that domino lands. But before then, I think it's fine. Elsewhere in the AFC West, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, or KJ Hamler of the Denver Broncos are going to be on the trading block. Allegedly, the Denver Broncos are looking for high compensation. So it's not that they're certainly going to trade one. They want to trade one of them, it sounds like. It sounds like all of an or. They're not and on it, but they're all of an or. Or they're all or. Ooh, Dolphins for Austin Eckler? I would actually not dislike that. Dolphins can't get everybody, though, honestly. That would be my biggest... probably just like, I don't want to be too obvious and be like, yeah, but I think that would be my scariest thing is Austin. I don't think they can go after him too. They got Jalen Ramsey. I think that was their piece. I don't know if they have enough capital to trade for Austin Eckler. I don't know what Austin Eckler would take. Maybe probably a second round pick, maybe a third round pick. Probably not a first-round pick. Running backs just don't really get that anymore in trades, especially if you're going to have to sign him to a deal, which is why he's wanting to get traded. But, I mean, hell, if you can get him for, like, the Amari Cooper rate last year where somebody signed him, the Browns got him for, like, a sixth-round pick, which was insane, and then he had just a very solid year. I would be very interested in that. If I was some team looking for a running back that wasn't in the AFC West, because I don't think they're going to trade Austin Eckler inside the AFC West. And actually, if I was the Chiefs, I wouldn't go for Austin Eckler. I'd, in the 4th round or 5th round, get Deuce Vaughn, who's the next Austin Eckler anyways. So, but obviously, Email, I mean, that's my shirt right now. But that's probably my hottest take I could have, honestly. But I believe Deuce Vaughn's just a younger, probably faster Austin Eckler. And there's, something to be said that eventually running backs do get hurt, and that you'd probably want to stay young. And I would love to see Deuce Vaughn in Chiefs red. Okay, so I believe that just about does it for the AFC West. I do want to stay in the AFC though for just a little bit longer. I had a hot take. I have a coworker who's actually a really big Patriots fan, and we were talking about the upcoming year for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we were talking about whether the Chiefs will be contenders in this upcoming year, and I told him I think the Chiefs should far and away be the favorites, heavy favorites, and I told him I thought every other team and I thought all the major contenders in the AFC are about to get worse. I believe the Chiefs, the pieces they were losing, there was a lot to be made about, the Chiefs are losing their left tackle. They're losing Frank Clark. Frank Clark's the third biggest, contributor. I think that was all overrated. I think we released clips about that last week. But I believe that's all overrated. And I believe that the Chiefs are going to get better at left tackle, which I believe the signing of Jawaan Taylor is a good sign. And I believe they're going to get better or at least younger at defensive end. I imagine that you're going to draft somebody in the first or second round defensive end wise. Felix Anudike, there you go, another Emaw shout out. But I believe you get one of those guys and you get another guy like Carlos Dunlap or who got released? Like Calais Campbell just got released. I don't know if you can get him for the cheap, but I'd be very interested in him. I think that'd be a solid signing. I think that's a good piece to put together, but. Where I was going is that I believed firmly that the Bengals and the Bills were going to get worse. And here we are. And we found out today that the former Bills linebacker Tremaine Edmonds signed to the Bears today. And the Bengals lost both their safeties. Von Bell signed with the Panthers and Jesse Bates signed with the Falcons. It's huge. It's huge pieces. The Chiefs, of course, have plenty of players we're going to talk about that they're going to lose, but I don't believe any of them are as big as losing both your safeties or the big of a corner piece as Tremaine Edmonds has been for that Bills defense. I think these are just huge, losses, and that's what I mean when I thought that the Chiefs were going to get better and the other teams were going to get worse. I believe they have to start paying these guys. You've got to start making room for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins allegedly, and you just can't sign like Von Bell to a good deal. You can't sign Jesse Bates to, I believe he got 4 years, like $64 million or something. Insane money. But good for those guys getting paid. But this is it. This is where chickens are coming home to roost. And I don't think the Chiefs are going to suffer from as many problems as that. We might lose guys like Orlando Brown or Juju or, Juan Thornhill, obviously, if we're talking safeties, but I don't believe any of them are going to be as important as those guys were to those defenses. So, just my 2 cents there. We'll keep on talking. Javon Hargrave from the Eagles, already gone. Again, another Super Bowl contender getting worse. He signed, and the reason I bring that up is that he signed for 4 years, $80 million. Guess what? Chris Jones is probably going to want to make that much money. I believe he's going to get probably about that much money, which really sucks because you just paid your new tackle 4 years, $80 million. I believe Chris Jones is also going to want 4 years, $80 million, which leaves you a little strapped. But Chris Jones, left tackle, tight end setup. You've still got left guard, center, right guard still cheap. You're not going to sign all those guys. It's simple. It becomes, the issue with having really good teams is everybody wants to get paid. And I believe you have to make business decisions, and business decisions are about to start coming. And I believe you're going to lose we're going to draft Young for right tackle. You're probably not going to keep Tooney and Trey Smith for the next 4 years. I think you should enjoy the next 2 years of having those three. But I believe probably Tooney walks after that, and I believe you're either signing Creed or Trey Smith, and I believe it'll be Creed. I believe you probably have 2 new guards in 3 years. It's just part of the game. everybody is going to have to adjust to paying your quarterbacks this much because everybody's going to have to pay their quarterbacks this much. Patrick Mahomes reset it, and the Deshaun Watson really came over the top and fucked everybody else. So, because he proved that even mediocre quarterbacks are getting paid, and even mediocre quarterbacks are going to get paid a lot of money. But Lamar Jackson's really bearing the brunt of a lot of that right now, which is really unfortunate. But Joe Burrow should be happy that Lamar Jackson's taking on all that for him before he has to figure out that situation. So, I believe that's just all I had to kind of say about that. So is that it for all I wanted to... Oh, and one quick shout out for the 49ers signing Sam Darnold. Very interesting picks. I don't know what Sam Darnold is doing there. I read it as Sam Bradford, like the first 3 times I read it. I don't know what's going on there. I think I'm just used to teams signing Sam Bradford for whatever reason. But it was just as weird for them to sign Sam Darnold. And I wonder if that means they have to not believe in somebody. I don't believe Sam Darnold is too expensive to be a third stringer. He didn't sign for veteran minimum, which your third string guys are normally signing for veteran minimum. So I worry. I worry about the situation there. I worry about what they're going to do with all that. I wonder if that means Trey Lance is on the move. I wonder if it means they believe in Brock Purdy. Or if somehow Brock Purdy didn't prove himself enough. But Trey Lance, I think, has given indications that, people are laughing about Trey Lance being on the block or whatever. So, I don't know, man. I just don't... I don't know what's going on with the 49ers, but I believe it's a sign of weird things are about to happen. So just keep your eyes there. Keep your eyes on the 49ers. Something is up. I don't know why Sam Darnold's there. Sam Darnold is making me question what's going on with the 49ers, but it's fine. We'll move on into let's just talk about the rest of the Chiefs free agents. Again, this will be a kind of a shorter episode. Listen, it's a solo episode. I can only talk to myself for so long. I do appreciate everybody who's still tuning in for this. Again, big shout out everybody who's there. And shout out Owen. This is one of those things where the bomb named Dahm, you really miss him on days like today. You realize how much it helps to have a person to bounce off and somebody who's such high energy as Owen. And I hope you guys appreciate him as much as I do, but we'll see. Okay. So free agents, other Chiefs free agents that are left to still be signed or to the Chiefs or elsewhere. And here we'll kind of rapid fire through these guys where I think they're going or if I think they're going to stay and the effect that I think it's going to have. Obviously, we start off with the biggest elephant in the room, figuratively and literally probably. It's not fair to call him an elephant, I guess. Orlando Brown Jr. is got to be going somewhere else. Listen, they already said the Chiefs have already stated that they're gonna move Jawaan Taylor over to the left tackle, and you don't pay a right tackle $80 million for 4 years. Quite simply, that's left tackle money. So Jawaan Taylor will be playing left tackle. It means Orlando Brown is gone. And I think I'm sorry. I think it's a positive. Call me a hater. Call me what you want. I saw Orlando Brown Jr. get blown by enough that I think he's gone. Juju, here's my weird thought about Juju, and call me crazy. And this is a crazy statement that I'm about to say. I think it's the Chiefs are either going to have Juju Smith-Schuster next year, or they're going to have Odell Beckham Jr. I think one of those guys is going to get signed to the Chiefs for like a 2-year, $20 million deal, or like maybe 2 years, $30 million or something like that. I don't believe either of them are going to get huge deals. Obviously, Odell Beckham Jr. is coming off of a pretty bad injury, or he's had 2 back-to-back injuries, and Juju is he was fine, but he caught 3 touchdowns simply, and he had about 1,000 yards straight up. But the Chiefs are one of the 12 teams that attended OBJ's private workout. And I think they want a veteran presence like that. And I believe OBJ has been flirting with the Chiefs for a long time, and he wants to go to contender. And I think he'd be willing to take I don't even know if you call 2 years, $30 million a discount for Odell Beckham Jr., but I wouldn't be shocked. So keep your eyes on that. I'm crazy. I'm probably crazy, but I think it's going to be Juju or Odell Beckham Jr., quite simply. Moving on, Nick Allegretti. Nick Allegretti apparently is actually from the same neighborhood as my girlfriend's husband in Chicago. So shout out Nick Allegretti from being from there. I'd like seeing Nick Allegretti re-signed. He's just a solid depth lineman, so you don't have to pay him a ton of money. There's no real reason to let him walk. So I think I'd like to see him back, but I don't know. McCole Hardman, again, McCole Hardman is going to go somewhere and sign a one-year prove-it deal. If anybody signs McCole Hardman to more than a one-year prove-it deal, I believe that is a mistake. Would I be fine if the Chiefs did it? Yes, but I don't think he's got a place here anymore. I believe they think they're going to get the most out of Kadarius Toney, and I've got to believe them on that. They believe Kadarius Toney is going to become their number one wide receiver, which is a little crazy. And I think a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I think there's still a chance that you might be seeing DeAndre Hopkins coming, which, by the way, if DeAndre Hopkins comes, the OBJ and Juju comment that I made earlier is null and void. We're not getting two of those guys. So just keep that going for you guys. But I don't think McCole Hardman has a place here anymore, sadly. Juan Thornhill. If Juan Thornhill's going to stay for cheap, that's fine. If he's going to want Justin Reed money, I think that's still fine. Like 3 years, $30 million. But if he wants Jesse Bates money, which he shouldn't, because he's not as good as Jesse Bates, but Jesse Bates just got 4 years, $64 million. If Juan Thornhill's going to sign a 4-year, $50 million deal, it ain't going to be here. Quite simply, I think it'd have to be a 3 years, 30 or 4 years, 40. So that's how I feel about Juan Thornhill. And listen, Juan Thornhill, you've been fine. Thank you, sir. We'll see you later. I think it's fine. I think you get a little younger at safety. I think you have Brian Cook ready to step up. I think you go get a nickel safety corner kind of guy that you can get for a little cheaper. So, and I think safety is one of the deeper free agent classes. There's about 9. You could go get, so was it CJ, GJ, Courtney Johnson, Gardner Johnson, whatever, something like that from the Eagles. Not a bad option there. I've seen a lot of people kind of link that, but interesting. Colin Saunders and Derek Nottie. I'm going to lump those two together. I don't necessarily need to see Derek Nottie back. I think Derek Nottie is a little washed at this point. I would be fine if he moved on. I don't think you're getting better by bringing Derek Nottie back, but I would like to see Colin Saunders back. Colin Saunders has basically come into that Derek Nottie role, except he's younger, he's a little quicker, he's a great locker room guy. Colin Saunders, again, I don't know what a deal would look like. Maybe 2 years, 15 mil, 2 years, 12 mil, maybe. I feel like it'd be a low contract. Maybe like similar to what Derek Nottie get paid this year. That's a real quick question. Derek Nottie. Sport Track. Sorry. Sport Track. Sport Track. Yeah, he got paid 1 year, 2.75. So yeah, give me Colin Saunders at 2 years, $8 million. I'd love that. Derek Nottie, by the way, that's crazy. Or maybe that was just this year. Hold on, wait. Let me see. It might have just been this last year. It said he's 26 years old and 30. Oh my God. Wow, he really is. Huh, that's crazy. Me and Derek Nottie are technically the same age, which is insane. You just Google a picture of Derek Nottie and then put me up next to him and be like, wow, that's crazy. Brandon Williams, another kind of rotation guy. He's huge, right? Or maybe I'm thinking of Sheldon. But Brandon Williams is fine. I don't think he comes back. Again, another cheap deal maybe. Maybe a Derek Nottie 1 year, $2 million, $3 million, something like that. Carlos Dunlap. I think he's going to mull retirement. If he's not going to retire, I'd be fine with him coming back as a Chief. I thought Carlos Dunlap, again, like when they signed him, I said I thought this is the piece that could bring this Chiefs team to the Super Bowl and get them a championship. It's the kind of move that I was waiting on them to make, and it was perfect. And I loved every minute of it. And you know what they did? They fucking won the Super Bowl. And Carlos Dunlap was a contributor. He had at least 6 sacks again, I believe, right? Yeah, I loved the Carlos Dunlap signing at the time, and it came out exactly how I wanted it to. So I love to see Carlos Dunlap getting that done. Let me see. His sacks this year, he had 4 sacks. 4 sacks. And that was kind of like just what I kind of expected him to do, teach George Karlaftis and all that. So, but he played 17 games. He played all games, and he forced. God, it says he forced 8. Oh no, sorry. He defended 8. He deflected 8 passes, which was honestly kind of insane. But he led the league in that, which is almost as good of a sack, kind of. It's like a sack where he gets back to the line of scrimmage or the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I don't know why I questioned myself on that, but yeah, Carlos Dunlap. There you go. Jerick McKinnon. Again, I think if Jerick McKinnon's going to come and play, I think he's either going to get overpaid somewhere else or he's going to take a similar deal to what he did last year and keep signing like 1 or 2 year deals with us. If he's back, I love it. If he's not back, that's fine. I'm interested to see where Clyde goes. If Clyde is a weird, not a ton of people are talking about it, and that's a kind of a sign of the times for Clyde. But Clyde is a large domino in the Chiefs free agency pillar to fall, and nobody's talking about that. He's got to get traded, right? He's got to go somewhere. I mean, you've got Isaiah Pacheco's your number 1 back, and I don't think Clyde fits in as a number 2. I think you go young. Again, I love Deuce Vaughn, but I think you go get another running back in the draft. Probably not the first round, probably not the second round or the third round, but probably 4th, 5th round. You see them grab a guy that can be kind of that Jerick McKinnon role if Jerick McKinnon isn't coming back, or even if Jerick McKinnon is coming back, maybe you still go grab somebody else to be that third because Ronald Jones is gone. I think you trade Clyde for like a 5th or 6th round pick if you can get it. Very similar to how you saw someone. Oh God, who else got traded today for 7th? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that's where I'm at. Then you look at Michael Burton, fullback. Andy Reid's one of the last. There's like 5 fullbacks in the league right now. Andy Reid has one of them. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes back. I imagine Michael Burton's coming back. If he's not coming back, then I think it's fine. He has not blown me away, and he especially hasn't had as good of a year this year. Was it last year? He had the year before last year, before the Super Bowl, 2021, just to be clear, he was 8 for 8. Like every time he got handed the ball, he got a first down. Last year, I feel like he got 1 or 2 first downs, and got stuffed on 6 of them. So I think the time for Michael Burton is maybe past, and maybe this is where we just see them move away from a fullback, unless you find a guy like Kyle Juszczyk, which can catch the ball and do a lot with it. I believe Michael Burton's probably done here. Blake Bell. Okay. Blake Bell's your 3rd or 4th tight end. You obviously Jordy Fortson, I believe, is still on contract, so I imagine he's back. So it'll be kind of a thanks for what you did, bud, but it was good to see you. Glad we got you a ring. And we'll see you later. That's how I feel about Blake Bell. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think it makes sense for him to bring back. I think Blake Bell's probably on. I wouldn't be shocked if he'd be one of those guys that just kind of moves towards retirement. Or he could be back here. I don't know. But I could see him maybe go back to the Cowboys. I think Blake Bell just feels like he might be done. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling, but I'm just getting that. Deion Bush. Now we're getting into kind of free, safety, special teamers. It sucks that you lost Marcus Kemp. Obviously, a huge special teamer. Deion Bush, also another big special teamer, but I think you probably move on from him and get somebody else. Sorry if that shuffling paper's into the mic. And finally, last but not least, this is technically a free agent we're kind of losing. Chad Henne. R.I.P. I appreciate it. We appreciate especially Chad Henne. Here for 2 rings. Chad Henne's mad dash. Never be forgotten to get us back to the Super Bowl against the Bucs when he almost converted that 4th down conversion, and then he executed Andy Reid having the balls to go for it on 4th down, throw that pass open to Tyreek Hill to ice that game. Love that. I love Chad Henne. Thank you, Chad Henne, for what you've done. We will miss you. Forever a Chief, right? When Chad Henne goes into the Hall of Fame, you think he'll be wearing a Chiefs jersey? Me too. I do as well, yes. No one else is here to debate me, so Chad Henne goes to the Hall of Fame. You like that? I think that's it. That's the list for the Chiefs free agents. God, am I crazy? I think that's it. Well, hey guys, we appreciate everybody for being here. We appreciate everybody for hanging out and being a real trooper today. I appreciate you listening to my voice, just me rambling. I hope it was coherent. I hope it was. It obviously has a little bit of a faster structure. It's a little fast and loose. It's not as clearly like, oh, hey, all right, now we're stopping this topic. We're starting this topic now because, Owen isn't here, so I know where I'm going at all times. That's not a diss on Owen. That's simply easier to talk to yourself for 2 hours than it is and have what I think is coherent thoughts. But I guess we'll see where you guys are thinking it's going. But real quick, we'll do a little bit of kind of a pop culture minute here. Real quick, before we get too far, I do want to again thank the patrons, patreon.com/opendisaster. Shout out Picaro, Skylar, Aaron, Meltbox, Kansas City. Again, they just opened up their thing in the Iron District. Dylan and Joe, I think is my 6. I think that's all 6. Joe, Picaro, Aaron, Skylar, Meltbox, and Dylan. Just to double check. We appreciate all you guys for subscribing there on the Patreon. But big shout out everyone there. You can head on over there, patreon.com/opendisaster. Again, bonus buds coming out today is the Miss Rib, which is the sandwich that would leave the McRib whenever he comes back out of retirement like Tom Brady. Which was topical when we recorded it. Very funny. So we appreciate you guys. Real quick, and a final announcement. This will be a Pop Culture Minute. This will probably be old news by the time this episode comes out. If you're listening to this, if you guys are, friends with us, following us on Twitter, twitter.com/steammachine, or twitter.com/steammachine, twitter.com/OwenGoshDommit. We're going to start the Dahm That's True bracket challenge. We're absolutely going to release an NCAA bracket. And maybe we'll get you like a cool shirt or something. We'll get you like a cool Open Disaster shirt. We'll just do the Open Disaster Bracket Challenge. How about that? Even though we didn't mention it on Grubbud. So we'll call it the Open Disaster Bracket Challenge. We'll appreciate everybody getting in there. We'll get you a shirt. We'll get you with a nice logo. It'll be kind of cool. So, hey, we appreciate everybody for being here. We appreciate you guys all for hanging out. Again, I've been Truman Steam Machine Steen. Owen Domination 7 Dahm will be back. The bomb named Dahm will be back next week. We appreciate it. And hope to see you. Stay Dahm. Stay true. Stay Dahm That's True.